Yo, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope everyone's having a good one so far. Today, we are going to be talking about Free Realms, but more importantly, we're going to be talking about a game that was similar to Free Realms when the game shut down. So, if you guys are interested in, let's say you're impatient for Free Realms Sunrise to come out and you're looking for something to, take your pain away, like for a game to, grasp onto. I'm going to show you that game today, but before we do, we got to talk about Free Realms when it shut down. So I'm going to sort of give my perspective on things, tell my story about Free Realms shutting down. So I was in high school when I was just starting my freshman year of high school when Free Realms shut down, which obviously that's a time when you're, you're slowly becoming an adult, going to the adult world, which it sucked, man. It really did. It's like when it shut down, I had nothing else to play. It was like the only game that really like captured my interest at the time. So yeah, this game shut down in 2014, and there was just nothing else to play. And then I don't even know when I heard about it. I think it was closer to when it was coming out, probably in the summertime. So obviously summer was like that time where I had nothing going on, nothing to play. That would have been the time I was playing Free Realms, but obviously couldn't. So about 5 to 6 months later, this game called Destiny comes out. Like it's like it was Destiny. For this game to drop like months later after Free Realms had shut down, I was just like, I need a game to play. I need something to enjoy. And this was it, dude. This was the game to play, and it's wild that that this game came out months after Free Realms had shut down. So Destiny, to me, is a game you could easily compare to Free Realms. And I'm just gonna point out like similarities. I'm gonna point out things that Free Realms had, and that obviously Destiny has. And, I'm going to basically sell you on the experience of Destiny. Since, if you played Free Realms, you're looking for something to ease you over until Free Realms Sunrise drops, this will be that game. I guarantee you. So, without further ado, instead of talking about Destiny and, not having a visual, why don't we get some gameplay going, huh? Well, why don't we get some good old-fashioned gameplay going? Why don't we? So, let's start with this whole character creation thing. So obviously Free Realms, they had character creation. This is kind of very similar. Free Realms, you can make 4 different characters. You can make pixies, or you can make humans. In this game, there's actually 3 races you can make. So, I'm not really showing it. There's a face behind that helmet there. But you can make a human, you can make an exo, which is like a robot, sort of. It's a robot. You can also make an awoken, which is like space-looking purple, like, not purple, but like it's a space-looking person. Hard to explain without a visual, but there are 3 races you can pick from, not just 2 like Free Realms had. So, if you wanna, give some variety to your characters, you can do that. Personally, I have 3 hunters that are all, well, one's human, one's awoken. You can see it right there, exo, human, awoken. And there's also, in terms of like, we'll get into jobs. The whole job comparison is like this, right? There are classes that you can play in the game. It's kind of like, it's different from Free Realms, because Free Realms, Free Realms only had jobs, right? Only jobs. There were only jobs that you could like swap from, like Adventurer, TCG, etc. Destiny has, you can pick a hunter, a warlock, or a titan. All of them have different, not jobs, but supers, like abilities you can use. Personally, I love hunter the most, so that's why I have 3 hunters instead of like a warlock and a titan. But yeah, you can have multiple jobs, and I'll go in game and show you what they're like. But yeah, without a further ado, let's get into it. So, Destiny, like Free Realms, is an MMORPG. It's the best thing that I've played since Free Realms, I think. Like, I played it in 2014. For about 3 years. Destiny 1 it had two expansions, 2 DLCs. It was the best thing I had played since Free Realms. And then 2017 they came out with Destiny 2, which is this. And I'm still playing the game 5 years later, so if that tells you anything, I mean, there you go, you know. Very self-explanatory. So, yeah, Destiny's an MMORPG, and so was Free Realms. The difference between Free Realms and Destiny, though, right? Free Realms was a social game for an MMORPG. Destiny, sort of a looter shooter. I'd call it that. A looter shooter is like the best term I could pick. The game can be social. You can play with other players, but it's not like how Free Realms was with being completely social. But it's got that sort of social tie-in, you know, if that makes sense. In terms of pets or mounts that Free Realms had, because Free Realms had pets and mounts, Destiny sort of has that in a sense. For pets, I would say your ghost is probably the closest thing. So I'll turn off the little customization there. We'll go from ghost. So yeah, you can have different customizations of ghosts. Ghosts are like it's like your little companion. I won't get deep into what a ghost is because, you know, there's people that could tell you what it is. But yeah, I got a little ghost friend here that is pretty resemblant to a pet. In terms of mounts, Sparrow, it's the closest thing. It's a vehicle. You can basically use this around any location. Most locations in Destiny. This is funny enough. This is the fastest Sparrow in the game. I'm not even kidding. This thing, it's from a raid, which I'll go into, but the Sparrow is the fastest. This one is the fastest in the game. Nothing compares to it. So yeah. And then I guess something that Free Realms didn't have that Destiny has is ships. It's very different. It's literally just an aesthetic. There's nothing important about the ships. You fly around space. It's pretty much what they're used for. So yeah. And then in terms of like customization, obviously you can tell. Like there's armor, there's weapons, and again, Destiny is a looter shooter, so yeah. I know, like in terms of customization, Free Realms had, like, you know, you could switch your outfits a lot. There were items that you could have in game. I think for customization, it's really like different from Free Realms, very different. Because Free Realms didn't have transmog really. You could swap items and stuff, but Destiny actually has like a whole transmog system that you can swap anything out. You can put any different piece of armor on. Like I could just put this on like so. Although this helmet's like pretty good. It's pretty neat. But yeah, Destiny's, if you love that customization side of Free Realms, Destiny is like, it's got it. It's got that customization. If you love that the most, you can customize with any armor. You can also apply shaders. You can apply different colors to all your armor sets. Like if you wanted to, you can make it like all like black, and for me, I have it kind of all like white. There's like little bits of blue in there. The shaders aren't the best in Destiny. I wish they would have more just straight up like black or just white or gray armor sets, but they really don't. It's kind of like it's hit or miss. Like, dude, if I want, I could be like all purple. Funny enough, this shader actually moves. You can barely see it, but it moves. It's pretty neat. But yeah, like I said, if there's a thing you loved about Free Realms and it was customization, there you go. So in terms of rare items, Free Realms had like really rare items like that, you know, they were hard to get. So I guess Destiny has that in a sense with like weapons that you can obtain. Like I've got, like this came from a raid. I got this from an exotic quest. Like I think in terms of rare items, like I'm pretty sure that exotics would be the closest thing to like what's considered rare. At least to me, that's what seems like the rarest of rare items. But yeah, I know Free Realms had trading as well. For trading, Destiny doesn't have that. Now you're probably wondering why? Why doesn't Destiny have trading when Free Realms did? Because Free Realms is different from Destiny. Destiny has this thing called RNG and random rolls on things. So like for example, not with like, I guess for random rolls on armor, there's different stats for each armor piece. And then for guns, obviously there's different rolls that do different things. So let's say you were to trade like a gun for another gun, or you know, you're just giving someone this for free. That defeats the purpose of RNG, and it would probably make the game feel less special, so that's probably why there wasn't trading. For Free Realms, though, I mean, trading existed because, you know, there wasn't, like, there were value to items, but, like, there was no RNG in getting the stuff, I don't think, because everything was pretty easily obtainable for the most part, unless it was discontinued. But, you know, I think that's that. So for combat in Free Realms, I'll kind of go over it in a second, but to kind of talk on the game, you know, Free Realms had battles. In terms of battles for Destiny, there are stuff that's similar to that. It's kind of hard to, like, you know, I guess in terms of battles, that would be like these playlists for strikes. Then there's also Gambit. All the activities in Destiny kind of vary from, like, there's only those three main ones, and then there's also, like, you got your endgame raids, which are very different for Free Realms. I guess Free Realms, you know, didn't really go that far in terms of, like, big endgame, like, events. But raids are kind of like the pinnacle activity in the game. There's also, like, if you go to the different planets, there also are different activities. Like, there's this one, which I have played a bunch. There's also Eternity. I could go... there's also dungeons, man. I could go into this forever. But I think that's... If there was a, you know, thing to compare battles to in Destiny, those playlists would be it. That's kind of the best thing I could compare them to. Like, there's PvP, there's PvE, PvP, and then there's PvE. So, kind of varies. As far as minigames go, there's not that flash side of minigames that Free Realms had. Destiny doesn't really have that. I guess if you wanted to consider this a minigame, you could, but it's not that at all. Yeah, I don't think Destiny's that kind of, like, kid-friendly game for the most part. And to kind of go into this next point, Free Realms was PG, right? Free Realms, this is PG, you know, it was a family-friendly game. Destiny, on the other hand, is not that. I mean, I'm sure a lot of us have become adults now. So if you played Free Realms and you know, you're an adult now and you're like, you know, family-friendly was cool and all, but I want something a bit more. Destiny is, like, rated T for teen, although I'd say it's rated M, even though it's not, because there are guns in it. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on that. If you're looking to just play a more mature game, this would definitely be it. So yeah, before we get into where I'm going, let me see if there's anything I'm missing. Seasonal events. Free Realms had its seasonal events for, like, Valentine's Day, Halloween, Christmas, etc. So Destiny has that. Funny enough, I think if I click on this, I don't know if it'll show it. Yeah. So Destiny has an event called Festival of the Lost, which is its Halloween event. And then it also has, like, something called The Dawning, which is a Christmas event. It's a winter event. Then it's also got Crimson days. I don't know if that's still around. I think it's not, but it was like a Valentine's Day event. Then there's also Guardian Games, which is like a spring event, and then finally there's Solstice of Heroes, which is a summer event, which I don't know. I think Freedom's had some, well, maybe not a summer event, but like something close to it, you know? But yeah, that's kind of what, in terms of seasonal events, that's easily comparable to Freedom's. Destiny's got seasonal events. So, yeah. In terms of like quests and lore, because I know Freedom's had that, and a lot of that stuff was in the game. Destiny definitely has that lore story. There are quests in the game. I would say like there's more of a story type of thing, like more of a campaign in Destiny, not like quests. But there are quests you can do for story. And the lore in Destiny goes deep, like extremely, extremely deep. So if there was like, you know, something you loved about Free Realms and it was the lore, you'd love Destiny because the lore is deep. There's a YouTuber I watch called My Name is Bife. He goes into this lore deeply, like deep, like to the point where you'll understand it by watching his entire channel, right? So yeah, there's definitely good lore and story to the game. I would say I personally enjoy it. It's probably the best lore I've ever, you know, read and watched and heard, played. So yeah. What else? Am I missing anything else? Collections. Destiny has a collection system where like you can see everything you've collected. You can see all your emblems that you've gotten. Emblems I don't think is something that Free Realms had, but something that Destiny has that basically shows like, hey, you did the Valentine's Day event, or you did the Dawning, or you did the Festival of Lost, or you did the Solstice event, you know? That's basically it. So yeah, there's definitely a collection system in Destiny, compared to Free Realms' collection. And then in terms of achievements, because Free Realms had an achievement system, Destiny has that. It's got it like triumphs. Like you can literally, like what I was doing before, I was turning in like, I was just clicking on this and getting a triumph score, which my max triumph score is 92,000. So you can tell like I've played the game a bit. So yeah, I've put in some work, you know. I've put in some time to this game, and that's a way to tell it. So yeah, and then I guess the whole open world aspect will explore that in a second. But in terms of like places to go, because Free Realms had all these different locations you could go to in Sacred Grove. Destiny has that with obviously the planets. You can see that right here. Like you can go to Europa, or you can go to the moon if you really want to. You want to see the moon? You want to see some cheese, dude? Also got a place called the Dreaming City, which looks like a place in World of Warcraft. You got Nessus. You got the Cosmodrome. You know, old Russia. You know, it's wild about how many locations there are to visit. Crazy. Missing anything else? I might be. Consumables. Now, Free Realms had like a consumable system. I don't think Destiny has that to a point. I know like you can actually, if you go to like the you have the store here, you can actually buy these with Bright Dust, which is like the free currency. I'll go into currency next because that's a really good point. You can buy these, which will give you like, you know, more planetary materials, more glimmer, give you an upgrade module. So yeah, there is that system of you can buy consumables, and I guess yeah, it is called consumables. So those count. 2 points. So yeah. And then obviously coins and station cash. So I guess Destiny's versions of coins is Bright Dust, and then station cash is silver. So there is microtransactions in this game. In terms of a membership, though, Destiny doesn't have a membership. However, there are expansions you can buy. So if you wanted to get more out of the game, you could play the expansions and buy them. But like Free Realms, Destiny is actually free to play. So if you didn't know that, now you know. Free Realms is 100% free to play. Not 100%, but like to an extent. Like I think it shows it on here. So Arc 3.0, Festival of the Lost, and Kingsfall. So there's a raid you can do, there's an event that you will be able to do, and then there's obviously the super update that they came out with, available to all players. It says at the bottom right there. And then this stuff, the 3 and 6 player activities, armor ornaments, and Pirate Hideout weekly story missions, available to season pass holders. So there is a free to play aspect, and then there is also a paid aspect. So like Free Realms, there is a free to play side, and then there's obviously a paid side. So if you bought the membership in Free Realms, this will probably be like your cup of tea, you know. That's like easily comparable. Another thing I want to touch on that I didn't actually write down, guilds in Free Realms. So obviously there was a guild system in Free Realms where, you know, you could invite a bunch of people to your guild, friends that you wanted to play with. Destiny has that, but instead of guilds, it's called clans. I have my own called the Clumsy Guardians, which Guardians are what, you know, your characters are called. It was a name I made up back in Destiny 1, and I remade it in Destiny 2. Our tagline is like a deer in the headlights because we're clumsy. I've got like near 50 people in this clan. It's literally just random people I've been inviting. So yeah. It's pretty wild that the clan system's really cool because guilds, I guess, didn't really have like a huge like purpose in a way. But in this game, there is actually a purpose to clans. You can level up your clan, get a clan level. You can do like raids, Gambit, Nightfall, Crucible with your clan, and you'll get like a reward for doing it. And then like you can also unlock like a clan banner. Which are these. You can put them on. It's for like, I guess, leveling your clan in the different seasons. Personally, I like the one from season 12. The game's seasonal thing, that's kind of different from Free Realms. It's a newer thing that people have been doing since like Fortnite came out. So yeah, I've been playing this for a bit, and I think the clan system is really cool. So yeah, I guess one thing that Destiny doesn't really have is housing and building, which I would really love to see. I don't think it's gonna happen though, but you know, Free Realms had housing and building, and Destiny definitely doesn't have that. What it has though, in a similar fashion, is social spaces. Like got the Helm, which is like the seasonal type of place. Like this is where you'd go for the various seasons that have come out. Now if you want to play some story, this is where you'd go to do it. And then the main social space is the tower. You go here to do like, you know, you can turn in stuff, turn in your engrams to get like loot and stuff, and it's wild. It's pretty cool. There's all sorts of vendors, kind of like Free Realms had, but yeah, definitely no like building, no housing. I wish Destiny had that. That's like one thing that I would love to see, but probably won't happen. Yeah, and then I know Free Realms had like a video capture system. Destiny does not have that. So if you were looking for like, you know, if you were looking to record your gameplay, I mean, you can just get something called OBS, which is what I'm using to make this video. You'll obviously need like a capture device. There's a lot of technical stuff to, you know, record gameplay for Destiny, like in this quality. But yeah, that's one thing that Destiny doesn't have, which would be pretty cool if it did. But you know, and then as far as like platforms go, you know, Free Realms is on PC, Mac, and PS3. Destiny is on a lot of platforms. Currently, I am playing on PS5. but Destiny is also on Xbox. It's on PC. It's on like Steam, Epic Games, Stadia. It's not on Mac. I don't think it could run on Mac. But yeah, it's on a bunch of different platforms. So I think that's really cool. Now, why don't we just get into the game? I'll show you all the fun things to do in Destiny. I'll show you what the gameplay is like. And yeah, you can go to these different areas, and pretty wild. So in terms of like the supers that I was talking about, so there's two different types of supers, or I guess two different brands of supers. So there's the light subclasses, which Arcstrider is one I'm gonna be using. There's also a darkness subclass. They're introducing another one in this next expansion coming out in February, which is gonna be neat. So I think it'll be cool. But yeah, I'll be using Arcstrider, and then obviously Warlock and Titan, they have their own subclasses just like Hunter does. But yeah, so let's get into it. And again, Free Realms was an open world, just like Destiny is an open world, so pretty wild. You're probably wondering what that is. You'd have to do a strike to find that out. I think it's called the Lake of Shadows. You do that one, you'll figure out what's going on over there. But yeah, and yeah, Destiny in a sense is social because there's also other players around that you can see there. Those three are probably doing a strike. That dude's AFK, it's fine. Another thing though I forgot to mention, there's also titles in Destiny. Like I have my own called Shadow. This is from like a early season of Destiny. And then obviously another thing, the game is not like Free Realms in the sense of battles. It's definitely not like how Free Realms was, it started that open world combat in like Sunstone Valley. And then obviously to the rest of the world. Destiny is extremely about the open world fights, like open world combat and all that. So if you don't like that aspect, if you didn't like the aspect of Free Realms, this is probably not going to be like, your favorite game for combat, but you might get used to it. You never know. Give it a shot, see how you like it, because it actually can be fun. Watch. See? Fun. Very, very cool. And yeah, like that. You can get like random drops. Destiny also has like, there's a bunch of like technical systems in Destiny that Free Realms didn't have. So like if you're wondering about like this, I can't really explain it too much. It's basically Destiny's it's how you do activities. Basically it's just a number. It's just a number really. But yeah, so and then there's my ghost if you were curious. And then also the thing I took off of my ghost was this little thing, this little crown symbol. You can apply like a ghost projection, and then if you open your ghost again in game, it pops up. So that's really cool. But yeah, in terms of like exploration in Destiny, Destiny has like a bunch of like, you can do like patrols. Like I don't know if they'll pop up. Yeah, there's a patrol right here. You can select it and it'll take you to like to a scannable or just a different like, I guess, location. You'll do like this little patrol and you'll get some stuff for it. Not a lot, but you'll get stuff. There's also public events that you can do. Like different public events that'll spawn. Like if I open the map right now, there's one happening over here. We're not going to go to it because it's not really like super fun. I don't do public events anymore. They're not really my cup of tea, but I do them when I can. If I feel like it. I don't really feel like it right now, but yeah. Also, in terms of supers, you can actually customize them a bunch. I won't go into what my build is, but you can do some big customization with supers now since they introduced like a 3.0 system to it. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you loved Free Realms, I think you'd love Destiny, because for me, this was my game that, you know, this was my saving grace. This was what I played when Free Realms shut down. It was the only thing that I found interest in, and yeah. So we're gonna go to an area that's kind of a little farther out, and I'll explain some of the other stuff that I didn't explain. And then, you know, maybe we'll go to that public event. You know, maybe, just maybe, we'll go to that public event. If you guys are interested in seeing more combat, so let's just take a ride in again. This is the fastest sparrow in the game. It's a raid sparrow. That's the most I can tell you. It's the only sparrow I use in game. So yeah, we're gonna go across this bridge. This is an area that people don't really go to in this European Dead Zone, which is where I'm at. This is like a forgotten area, I'd call it, because no one goes here. I know there's like a story mission here that got sunset. Sunsetting is like a term that Bungie uses when they are retiring old content for the game. But yeah, this is like a little forgotten area. So the one thing I did want to talk about before we go do that public event is the fact that, you know, Free Realms had these things called dance boomboxes, I guess. And to a certain extent, Destiny has that, but not in terms of boomboxes. They are called emotes. I've got a bunch. I support Bungie 100%. And I love buying all the emotes. I don't really care. I've got the money to do it. So I like supporting them. But yeah, Destiny has emotes. You got this one, the one I was using earlier. You got this one. You got this one. And there's a bunch of others that I won't use, but I wanted to use these as an example. You know, get the blood flowing. And then you got this one, little dance emote. There's a bunch of emotes that you can use in game. So if you like that, you know, dance side of Free Realms with the boomboxes, there are emotes that you can get in game for both Silver and Bright Dust. Dude, I think Destiny's like the perfect game to compare Free Realms to. Like, it is very similar. There are things that are different from Free Realms to Destiny. Like, obviously, I've mentioned some differences, some similarities, but yeah, it is very similar to Free Realms, at least Destiny is. So, without further ado, let's go to the Winding Cove. We'll go do a public event, and I'll show you guys how the combat is. It can be very fun. I haven't done a public event in a while, so this is like a treat that you're getting here, right? I'm doing a public event that I haven't done in decades. And we'll have a person to hopefully do the public event with. I don't know. I think so. He's kind of just hanging out, so I'll do the public event with this man. Maybe he'll be my test dummy, you know? Or he's just goofing off. Either way, you know, it's what it is. He needs.
Cabal are bringing in a fortified mining lander. I believe this means a resource grab.
Okay, so that was one of the Devrim K is like, he's this dude, the guy that was just talking. He's the guy that gives out the public events. And so we're gonna be fighting one of the many. There were a bunch of different races that you could fight in Free Realms. This is one of them called the Cabal. There's also enemies like the Fallen, which are like pirates. There's also the Vex. There's the Hive. There's the Taken. Mamma mia, there's a lot of enemies in this game. But yeah, pretty wild that there's different races in the game. Like the Fallen were the guys that was fighting earlier, but this is the Cabal. And I'll show off my super here in a bit, the super that I keep talking about mentioning. But we'll use weapons for now. You know, nothing crazy, nothing massive. This sword is actually really cool, by the way. Like, I love using this sword because it's got a chain reaction thing to where like arc element or whatever chains off of it. So it's pretty wicked. It's pretty cool. It's pretty wild. I'm probably just gonna solo this. It says 1 of 2 Guardians, but I'm pretty sure they don't care. They're probably looking at Xur right now, which Xur is like this dude that sells rare items, sort of similar to Kragara in Free Realms, if you guys remember that snail, you know. But you know, I'll solo this public event. I can do it. I'm confident that I can pull it off. It's not that hard. This is why I don't do public events anymore, because like these are too easy. Like way too easy. Oh, I'm gonna kill that. This is actually, so shooting this Thresher, that ship in the sky, that's actually how you get, oh, I died. Nice. So shooting that ship is actually how you get the heroic public event to start. Oh, sweet. This guy's going to be helping out. Test dummy. Oh, okay. So you can get really overwhelmed by enemies, but I try not to. Where's that ship at? Far? Wait, that's not it, is it? I can't tell if that's the ship. It might be. It's spinning in circles. I don't know. Definitely could be it. Yeah, okay, it is. So I'm going to throw my super at it, and you'll see how it works. That, oh my god. There we go. So that's how my super works. It's going to, I'm pretty sure it's going to keep doing it. Oh my. And it's gone. That's my super though. Basically, I throw a staff at an enemy, and it does like really big electric damage. It's cool. I like it. It's the newest super in the game. Like since they introduced this whole Arc 3.0 thing, it's like how supers work now. So pretty wild. Hopefully we'll be able to restart the heroic. I just want to show you guys how it works, because it's, you know, I think I know how to start all the heroic events for the most part. It's not crazy complicated, but yeah, look at all these people helping me out with public events. It's great. Look at them. Look at these people, Guardians. We're just hanging out. We're having a good time. Shoot the Thresher. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. So destroying that basically starts the heroic public event. There we go. Join heroic event. And I died again. Dude, I'm terrible at this game. I'm really bad. I'm really bad. So that's the guy you kill for heroic, and he's dead. And that's the public event, I think. Pretty sure. Yeah, that's it. So you kill him, you get that done, the public event sort of ends, this thing kind of blows up, and, you know, no one bats an eye. And then once it's gone, chest.
I heard those explosions from here.
See?
What was that?
Oh,
pretty wild.
Taking out a mining lander, a ship, and a commander.
As you do. I stand in awe.
So yeah, that's how a public event works. This stupid fallen, I don't even know why that's still there. That's kind of silly. But yeah, Destiny is this huge open world game. You can do, it's very similar to Free Realms, although I wouldn't say it's exactly like it. But if you are looking for a game that, you know, can hold you off for a while, this would be that game. I definitely recommend, you know, putting some time into it. And if you want, buy some seasons, buy some expansions, support Bungie. If you really feel like it, you know, do what you want at the end of the day. But if you're still waiting for Free Realms Sunrise, I'd recommend getting into Destiny, because this was my saving grace when Free Realms shut down. It was definitely the game that kept me busy for like, what? How long is it's been 8 years? I've been playing this game for 8 years. So in a way, this game has kept my attention all that time. So if you haven't found your game yet, this is definitely gonna be it. I mean, you know, you can see for yourself, like, the game can be fun. Definitely be fun. I'm gonna freaking get this thing out of here, dude. But yeah, if you're looking for a game to play like Free Realms, again, this will definitely be your cup of tea. At least I think so. I've loved it ever since it came out. it's definitely a really good experience. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys for watching. If you did, I appreciate it a ton. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.